Hi everyone, my name is Britt Foster. I am a librarian at California State University, Fresno. We are located in the heart of the Central Valley of California, where we support about 25,000 students. And as a California institution, we are accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, Senior Colleges and University Commission. Many of my fellow Californian librarians are likely familiar with WASC Accreditation, which focuses on 5 core competencies: written communication, quantitative reasoning, oral communication, critical thinking, and information literacy. We assess the 5 core competencies both at a departmental level and at an institutional level, with one core competency assessed at the institutional level each year. And today I'm going to be sharing about our most recent information literacy institutional assessment and our decision to incorporate artifacts from capstone courses in addition to a standardized IL assessment. So on an annual basis, we administer the Student Assessment of Information Literacy Skills, or SAILS test, twice, in the fall for incoming students, and then again in the spring for graduating seniors. And this allows us to benchmark our students against similar institutions, as well as track development of IL skills by cohort during their time at Fresno State. And the results are succinct, they're easy to quickly communicate, and they provide national benchmarking, which is really valued by our administrators, and the test is fairly easy to administer. However, as IL assessment has developed on our campus, there was also a desire for an understanding of how students demonstrate IL within the context of their discipline and their major, and how IL looks in relationship to other literacies, such as visual literacy, and also to acquire an understanding of proficiency beyond these national averages, which do not indicate if these averages are at a proficient level. Discussions between librarians and the university assessment coordinator led to the decision to design an additional assessment that focused on the collection of artifacts such as research papers, reflections, online exhibits, etc. from capstone courses or courses taken at a period near graduation. So after a small pilot in 2017-2018, the official IL assessment was conducted in 2018-2019, and the following steps were taken. 1. Identify capstone courses and recruit instructors. Using a university-wide survey as well as the university catalog, capstone courses were identified. Again, these are defined as courses taken by students either near the end of their course progression because of prereqs or department requirements, or taken by students within a certain number of units from graduation. And instructors from these courses were recruited via a volunteer interest survey, and care was taken to make sure the courses were representative with at least one course from each college in the university. 2. Collect artifacts and prepare for scoring. At the end of spring and fall semesters for 2018-2019, the instructor volunteers were contacted by a member of the committee who then worked with the instructor to collect the artifacts. Course papers were uploaded into a shared Google folder along with a copy of the course assignment, and the assignment was included to provide the context for the paper or any research information source requirements, etc. 3. Select a measurement criteria. We chose to use a version of the American Association of College and Universities value rubric for information literacy. The second criteria, access needed information, was removed because of a limited access to search procedures performed by the student. Committee members spent approximately 1 hour norming to this modified rubric. 4. Create a score sheet and determine scoring procedures. Included in the shared folder was a spreadsheet for recording scores. Each committee member was assigned a set of papers, and half of these papers they were the first reader for, and then the other half they were the second reader for. And for the set that they were the first reader for, they were also responsible for adding a comment that addressed a major strength or weakness of the artifact based on one of the 4 criteria from the rubric. 5. Read and score, and then maybe score again. Every artifact was read by 2 readers, and if a score was split by a score of 3 or 4, proficient, and by a non-proficient score, a score of 0, 1, or 2, a third reader was added to establish consensus. The resulting scores demonstrated that an average of 82% of graduating Fresno State students received a proficient score in all areas assessed. Students in particular demonstrated that the highest scores were in the areas of information evaluation and effective use of information, nearing 90% proficiency. Students demonstrated lowest scores in ethical use of information and incorrect citation measures being a major concern, and then also in determining the extent of information needed, demonstrating over-reliance on a single score. The benchmark for Fresno State is 90% proficiency, so while the benchmark was not achieved, these scores reflect that we are nearing that goal, which is exciting. So, some lessons learned. Access to capstone artifacts at this scale is fairly rare for librarians at our institution, and we found it so valuable to read across the disciplines and to identify patterns that can inform larger IL efforts. Norming is critical, particularly because the readers on the committee, for us, were from different disciplines and different academic backgrounds. We had librarians as well as instructional faculty. So inter-rater reliability was high for information evaluation and effective use of information, which were the two highest proficiency scores, but they were low for extent of information needed and using information ethically. And it's been suggested that for future norming sessions, each criteria is normed individually to allow for a focus on each rubric point rather than norming for the full rubric, and this may help clarify and solidify the understanding of that particular criteria across the committee members. Recruit early and often. It proved somewhat difficult to recruit faculty for this assessment, and more individualized outreach and time to discuss concerns related to and benefits of participation will likely help solicit volunteers. Finally, having access to diverse sources of IL assessment data has deepened our understanding of student IL needs. IL is a complex literacy, and so being able to examine it through multiple lenses has better informed our future instruction and assessment work, as well as the development of resources and services to support student development in the areas identified. So for closing the loop, we've continued to develop IL assessment practices along these lines, including more active and more reflective assessment activities to increase the diversity of sources from which we assess our IL. It is hoped that this will continue to provide us with strong data to improve our IL work to support our students' IL development.